surely can be done. Young and old are doing it, I'm told. Just one try and you too will be sold. It's called a freak, they're doing it night and day. Allow us, we'll show you the way. Ah, freak out, you freak, says she. Freak out. All that pressure got you down, has your head spinning all around. Feel the rhythm, chant the rhyme. Come on along and have a real good time. Like the days of stopping as a boy, now we're free. Oh, what a joy! Just come on down to the 5th floor. Find a spot out on the floor. Ah, freak out, you're free, says she. Freak out, now freak.
Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 525th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is fought on a custom map, and this has got the potential to be a really great battle. And see if you can answer the tactical movement question towards the beginning of the battle. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Pompey. Now Pompey has got the bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. And the reason that's the bog standard 31k Roman army is because it's so effective and so efficient. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Okay, just gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Crypto. Now I think Crypto's got 17 Spartans and 2 armoured hoplites. Okay, 17 Spartans and 2 armoured hoplites in his army there. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that during the course of the battle. As I say, Crypto's got better and better at using Greek cities, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does. Okay, our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has unusually bought the Britannia faction. Okay, now this is a very, very old Britannia army here. It's quite a small Britannia army, but it is a balanced Britannia army. Okay, as you know, if you face a modern Britannia army, most people bring like maybe 14 head hurlers and 6 maxed chariots. Okay, but this is, as I say, a balanced, very old army. I was playing with this army maybe 13 or 14 years ago, and I do like to bring old armies to the modern day battlefield. Okay, now you'll be surprised with these chosen swordsmen, when you put good upgrades on them, how good these chosen swordsmen could be. They are, they can be quite excellent, as you will see during the course of the battle. And I've only got 7 of them. Okay. And I've got 5 head hurlers. Now remember, these head hurlers throw effective against armor heads and bring a fear factor to enemy troops as well. And that's why people tend to bring 14 of these, because those effective against armor heads that they throw can decimate enemy armies. But if you haven't tipped the balance of the battle in favour of your team by the time all the heads have been thrown, all you've got left is 14 light infantry. Okay, so that's why I prefer to bring a balanced army, because as I say, with 14 head hurlers, if you don't tip the balance of the battle in your team's favour by the time they've thrown all their heads, then you just got 14 light infantry. So a balanced army I find is better. Now just a quick chat about the Britannia chariots here. They've got 2 types. They've got an ordinary heavy chariots, okay, with 3 hit points, or these barbarian warlord chariots with 5 hit points. Okay, now over the years I've experimented with both types of chariots, and I found that these barbarian warlord chariots are better. Those 5 hit points really do make a difference in comparison to the 3 hit points. Okay, so that's why I've incorporated them into this old army of mine. Okay, so as I say, that's my old Britannia army. As I say, I was playing with this maybe 13 or 14 years ago. Let's see how well it does on the modern day battlefield against really good players. Okay, and our last teammate is a Brotherhood member, Barclayman, who's got his faction of choice, Carthage. And Barclayman has got 15 Sacred Band infantry and 5 Sacred Band cavalry. Okay, so look how diverse our team is. Here we've got Rome, we've got Greek cities, we've got Britannia, and we've got Carthage. It's got the potential to be an epic battle, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Lando. Now Lando has got 5 archers, 10 infantry, 4 cavalry, and an old school armoured cavalry general. Okay, so it's one of his like custom armies, if you like. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 upgrades, and 1 experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, and of course he's got the old school armoured cavalry general that we know he uses extremely well. Remember, we all used to use this as our armoured cavalry general maybe up to about 11 or 12 years ago, when most of us switched to an infantry general then. Okay, so as I say, Land's got 5 archers, 10 infantry, and 4 cavalry, and the armoured cavalry general there. So it'll be interesting to see how well that army does during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member 8 Ball. Now 8 Ball has got 16 infantry and 4 cavalry. Okay, 16 infantry and 4 cavalry. So he's gone heavy on the infantry there. And I see his cavalry just got gold shield, gold attack. And I notice he's got an eagle unit as well as an infantry general there as well. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Viriato. Now Viriato has also got 16 infantry and 4 cavalry. Okay, also here, if you notice, the same as 8 Ball, he's got an eagle unit. Okay, and he's got his infantry general. So there's a lot of morale going on there for his infantry there, the same as 8 Ball. Okay, so that's interesting that they've both got that same amount of infantry. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. 1, 2. Okay, he's only got 6 upgrades on his cavalry, gold shield, gold attack here. But with both Viriato and 8 Ball having 16 infantry each, that's a lot of infantry to bring to the battlefield here. It'd be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is brother member JGP. Now JGP has got 6 archers, 6 cavalry, and 8 infantry. Okay, 6 archers, 6 cavalry, and 8 infantry. Quick look at the upgrades on his infantry. He usually brings good infantry. Yep, I can see he's got 7 upgrades. He's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his infantry. Okay, so that's pretty solid infantry he's got. And I see his general's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so there's the enemy team there. 4 Roman armies against our very diverse team. This should be a cracking game for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you can see once again Lando using his Roman armoured cavalry general in a very aggressive attacking way, as we've seen him use that particular unit in other battles. He is very, very proficient with this unit here. He's not frightened to put it straight into enemy infantry, trying to harass, harangue, disrupt enemy battle lines here and their armies as well. He used that unit so well there, and it's always a pleasure to see him use that unit. Okay, at this very, very beginning of the battle here, I've got a tactical movement question to ask you here. Can you see here that Barclayman on our left flank is running over to try and join our team here, but he is being cut off by the enemy army here? Can you see JGP and 8 Ball here with their infantry, archers and cavalry have cut Barclayman off? He's not going to be able to get to us here. So what I'm going to do is ask you here, if you were my Britannia army, what do you think you would do here? Should I move my whole Britannia army over to the left to help Barclayman here as he's being cut off by all those SBQR troops? Is that something that you would do? Maybe I should move my Britannia army over to help them, but if I do that, that would then leave my 2 teammates, Crypto and Pompey, to face 3 enemy armies. They'd be facing a 3 Viriato, 8 Ball and Lando. Okay, so I was in a bit of a difficult position in this game. Should I move my Britannia army over to help Barclayman here against all those SBQR troops as he's being cut off? Or should I move my Britannia army over with my 2 other allies there to face the 3 enemy armies? Which do you think you would do? Let's see what I decide to do here. Okay, because as I say, you can see here now that Barclayman has been cut off by this SBQR force of cavalry, infantry and archers there. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to move my Britannia army over here to try and help Barclayman here. against all those SBQR troops, because with the enemy cavalry getting in behind him and around his flanks and things like that, and the archer shooting into him constantly here, he is in a bit of a, I thought at the time, a bit of a bad position there. So that's why I'm moving my Britannia army over to try and help him against all this enemy SBQR cavalry and infantry there. So as I say here, you can see him moving his sacred band towards the enemy troops there. But as I say, he is getting a little bit surrounded here by enemy infantry and cavalry. So as I say, I made the decision to move my Britannia army over there. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, but you can see my Greek cities ally and my Brutii ally are really moving aggressively towards the enemy troops here. This is a nice bit of support here by Crypto. He's going to lend those Spartans to Pompey there, as Pompey goes up against those enemy SBQR troops. You can see once again Lando's SBQR armoured cavalry general here being a nuisance, causing disruption and attacking. You've got Viriato's cavalry over on that flank there. So as I say here, my teammates are running towards the enemy here. And also you can see Viriato here with his Scipii troops moving in. If Crypto keeps moving those Spartans forward, Crypto could get hit in the rear. And as I say, both Pompey and Crypto here, we all know that those two are very aggressive players here, and they're moving towards the three enemy armies. Okay, so meanwhile here, I'm taking my Britannia army over here to try and help out poor old Barclay man, who I believed at the time there needed some assistance on this flank. Okay, so as I say, got my chosen swordsmen, my head herders, and my chariots ready to move in. As soon as the time is right here against those enemy SBQR troops. Now remember, JGP's infantry have got 7 upgrades on: an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so that makes their infantry quite solid there. But as I say, poor old Barclay man, he's already suffering lots of archer damage. He'll be suffering pilot damage here. And with all that enemy cavalry around him there, they'll be just looking to smash into his engaged units at the first chance they got. So I thought to myself, I need to come over and help him. You can see the casualties he suffered from archers already there from his units. So I remember at the time in this particular battle, I thought he was in a bit of a, so you say, precarious position here on the left flank. That's why I've taken my Britannia army over to help here. Okay, but as I say, my other two teammates, Crypto and Pompey, are being very aggressive on the other flank, but they are facing 3 armies there. So with Barclay man and myself here on this left flank, if we're going to do anything, we need to take these SBQR troops out quite quickly. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. Straight away here you can see one of Barclay man's spear units is already routed. His units have already been thinned out by archer fire and cavalry hits going into the rear and flank of them as well. So as you can see here, I'm starting to move my troops in, looking to hit those SBQR infantry. But meanwhile, over on our other flank there, as I say, you can see Viriato's infantry here looking to smash into the rear of Crypto's Spartan units there. Okay, Crypto's split his Spartans up quite a lot here. They're not in a tight group. You've got all 16 infantry units of 8 ball moving in on him as well. And then you've got Lando's infantry over on this flank as well. Okay, and all that to enemy cavalry at the flank, they're ready to charge in. So as I say, on this flank things not looking very good. Looks like Pompey and Crypto here could be in a lot of trouble here, looking at the disposition of the enemy armies. Okay, so it makes what Barclay man and myself have to do on this other flank, it makes us move even quicker here to be able to try and take out these SBQR troops there, and then get our troops over to help our allies on the other flank. Okay, my chosen swordsmen here, I've just hit war cry, so they're just kind of revving up, if you like, before they charge into the rear of those enemy SBQR infantry. Right, here comes my infantry. Now the enemy SBQR general has seen my infantry coming in, and he's turned units to face a threat. Plus you can see units throwing in pilers to my chosen swordsman there. So as you can see there, it's a full-blown charge there. As I say, I've hit war cry, which enhances the chosen swordsman attack specifications. You can see the effective against armor heads going in as well. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Right, you can see here, if you look, you see the black dots, the effective against armor heads there smashing into those SBQR infantry, plus my chosen swordsman there with war cry, which, as I say, enhances their battle attack specifications there. And if you notice, you can see enemy units here frightened by chariots, so my chariots are getting ready to smash in as well. Okay, So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to try and take out these SBQR troops as fast as we can. My chosen swordsmen are all engaged. My chariots are now coming in. Here comes those barbarian warlord chariots with their 5 hit points. And bang! As they smash into that enemy SBQR infantry. Remember, those chariots bring a massive fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, destabilising them, making them more susceptible to routing. Plus, as I said, got my chosen swordsmen in there, plus the head hurlers throwing those effective against armour heads. But make no mistake, those chariots there, they bring a massive fear factor. Look at those SBQR infantry starting to rout. Remember, those infantry had an experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on, and those SBQR infantry are now routing. Right, see this SBQR cavalry charged into my chosen swordsmen, and bang, as they smash in there. But those chosen swordsmen have stood solid there to face that cavalry threat. As I say, these chosen swordsmen with good upgrades on can be really effective infantry. And see how they repel that big cavalry attack coming in on there. So, let's just pause the game for a second. So between us, between Barclayman and myself, we have now routed all of JGP's army. And I think we've routed several of 8 Ball's cavalry as well between us. Okay, there's a couple of rallied units left there, but for all intents and purposes, between us, we've routed JGP's army. Now we need to get over to our allies as fast as we can here. Just to say, look, you can see there's already a lot of Greek city units starting to rout already here. Okay, but I'd just like to show you, this is a nice hit by Pompey, smashing into the enemy Scipii infantry. You can see the enemy Scipii general has been routed as well, so that was a nice hit there by Pompey with his Brutii cavalry. But you can see a heck of a lot of enemy SBQR infantry over on this flank here. Remember, I think it's both Viriato and 8 Ball bought 16 infantry units here, and look at the fire arrows that Lando's archers are laying down onto our allies. See how Lando keeps his archers in close tight formation for more impact and more damage, and look at the SBQR cavalry and infantry here attacking our Greek city's ally in the flank, and got cavalry in behind them as well. But as I say, that was a nice hit there by Pompey's cavalry into that enemy Scipii infantry there. Nice attack there. Looks like he smashed into the flank of them there as they were engaging our Greek city's ally. Okay, but things still not looking brilliant over here if you look at the overall battle picture on this flank. Look at the enemy troops moving in on our Greek city's ally. As I say, Crypto split his Spartans up quite a lot here, giving support to Pompey there, but because he split his Spartans up, they can become vulnerable because they can be hit in the rear and flank as individual units, if you see what I mean. Here you can see Pompey here counter-attacking with his cavalry, but look at the Greek city units starting to rout here. Lots of our allies' Greek city units are starting to rout here from the pressure of that enemy attack. Also, can you see the Greek city's general has also been routed as well, which is bad news for us. And look at all that SBQ or enemy infantry moving in on what's left of our Greek city's ally here. So, as I say, things not looking very good here on our right flank and right centre. As I say, Pompey and Crypto here were facing 3 armies. So they're holding out as good as they can. Now for us, for Barclayman and myself, we need to get our troops, especially my chariots, over there as fast as we can to try and help our allies out. Okay, so make no mistake here, for all intents and purposes, all the SBQ army and cavalry over there on that flank have been taken out. So what we need to do now is get our armies over there as fast as we can to support Crypto and Pompey. I think Crypto and Pompey have done extremely well over there to hold as well as they have, but as I say, you can see a lot of our Greek city allies units have been routed here. Look at the pressure on those Greek city units from all sides. Pompey's doing what he can to support his Greek city's ally here with his cavalry and infantry, but maybe the best thing for them to do now is pull back towards Barclayman and myself. That might be the best tactical move to do here. Move back there towards us as we move over to them. As you can see, I've got my chariots over here. Our fast moving chariots have already reached this particular part of the battlefield here, but really I would like to wait for either cavalry support from Pompey or my infantry and Barclayman's spearmen to get over here. Right, see Pompey's cavalry charging there. Bang! And he smashes into the rear of those engaged Scipii troops, routed them on impact. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to charge my chariots in at the same time as Pompey's cavalry. Get ready for my chariots going in, and
The enemy has killed the leader of your house.
bang! As they smash in to those enemy SBQR and Scipii troops there. Remember, these chariots bring a big fear factor, big attacking specifications here, and look how they smash into those enemy troops, routing a lot of those enemy troops here with my chariots. As I say, these barbarian warlord chariots with good upgrades on can be very, very effective against enemy troops there. So that was a nice combination hit there from Pompey's cavalry went in first, and then my chariots went in afterwards there. You can see Pompey moving his Brutii infantry forward here now. Best thing for me to do with my chariots is now pull them back out of the fray. But unfortunately, I can see our Greek cities allies starting to lose even more units there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can see Barclay Man with his Carthage Sacred Band units, and my Britannia chosen swordsmen and head herders are moving over to this side of the battlefield as fast as we can. Okay, trying to attack the enemy troops and relieve our two allies. Pompey's done well with his Brutii troops. I'm going to pull my chariots back out of the fray for the time being, but look at our Greek cities ally here losing loads of units here, being surrounded by enemy troops there, and he has lost a heck of a lot of his Greek city. All the Greek city units that were over there have now been taken out. Okay, so basically, apart from maybe 3 or 4 Greek city units left, our Greek city allies army has been taken out. Okay, you can see here some of my head herders have been attacked and are battle damaged there by enemy cavalry and infantry, but I'm still running the head herders over because I'd like to throw some effective against armor heads obviously into those enemy infantry. But there's enemy cavalry roving the battlefield here that could well smash into my head herders and stopping them getting over to that part of the battlefield. Okay, but as I say, you can see both Barclay Man and myself moving our infantry over here as fast as we can. As I say, Pompey's done extremely well there with his infantry and cavalry here, but as I say, our Greek city ally Crypto has lost a vast majority of his Spartans here. But as you can see here, can you see Pompey and myself going to do a combination cavalry and chariot hit here, and bang, as we smash into those enemy SBQR infantry. Now this is a great combination hit here of chariots and cavalry. If ever you can get that organised on the battlefield, it can be quite devastating. The impact of the cavalry and then the fear factor and the attacking specifications of chariots can rout enemy units quite effectively if you get the combination of the impact just right between your cavalry ally and your chariots there. Okay, you can see Pompey moving his infantry in here to engage the enemy SBQR infantry. You can see SBQR cavalry charge into him there, and bang as they charge in there. You can see my infantry have arrived there, but my infantry are exhausted. Now remember, when your troops become exhausted, their morale is low and their battle proficiency drops by a large margin. Okay, but both Barclay Man and myself have run our troops right the way over from the other flank here, so I would expect my troops to be exhausted, which they are. You can see here Pompey charging his infantry and cavalry in there as well into those SBQR troops. Get ready for that counter-attack from the enemy Scipii cavalry there, and bang as they smash in there. Looking to go for my Britannia general there. Seeing my Britannia general there, looks like that cavalry was going for them. Now remember, I've only got 7 Britannia chosen swordsmen there. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, my chosen swordsman with a couple of my allies' Brutii units there holding against SBQR and Scipii cavalry and infantry attack there. So I've got my Britannia troops out at the front. You can see a Barclay Man forming his spears up behind my Britannia army there. But I think the last of the Greek cities allies here have now been routed, or on the way to being routed there by the enemy attacks. Okay, over here on the right side, can you see, I think it's Lando here with his cavalry and infantry here, looking to either smash into the rear of our troops here, or he's going to engage the Sacred Band cavalry here as well. He's got a choice there, whichever he's going to go for there. But as I say, the battle's right up in the air at the moment. Which way do you think this battle's going to go? Okay, it's interesting to see here. Bearing in mind we were up against 4 good Roman armies here. Now look at my Britannia infantry still holding. Look at that cavalry, that SBQR cavalry attack just smashed into them. Still my Britannia troops hold here. There's SBQR infantry charging into them as well. Here comes another cavalry attack. Look, bang! Straight into my chosen swordsman. Look at the impact of that cavalry. But still those chosen swordsmen hold. Okay, there's one unit just routed there. But look at those chosen swordsmen. We've got all that infantry and cavalry charging into them. As I say, chosen swordsmen with good upgrades on, you'd be surprised on how good troops they can be. Okay, look at how they're holding there against those big enemy attacks from those elite Roman cavalry and elite Roman infantry there. Chosen swordsmen doing really well, I think. And you can see Pompus Brutii infantry and cavalry coming in there. I think my Britannia troops are kind of holding up the enemy troops there, maybe allowing my allies to charge into the flank or rear of them as they're engaged. Okay, over here you can see our Sacred Band ally there with his cavalry fighting the SBQR cavalry there. So it'd be interesting, and there's SBQR infantry there as well. It'd be interesting to see if he can hold. But here you can see Pompey charging his cavalry in. Here you can see him going in. Get ready for this. And bang! As they smash into those engaged SBQR troops there. Looks like we've taken out the enemy Scipio general there, which is good news for us. But as I said, here you can see here the enemy counter-attacking there, that cavalry charging back in there. Still my Britannia chosen swordsmen are still holding there. Can you see that? There's just goes to show how good troops they can be with good upgrades. Here comes our Sacred Band ally with his cavalry charging in as well. I think at this stage of the battle, all our Greek city ally has now been taken out. All his troops now been taken out. Look at my troops are still managing to hold against those SBQR troops. And here you can see my allies now charging in. Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so you can see my Brutii ally and my Carthage ally there looking to charge their cavalry in there into those SBQR engaged troops there. The enemy Scipii cavalry are looking to block that charge. Okay, now this is bad news for us. Look at all this SBQR infantry and cavalry coming in behind us here. Now if they smash into our flank there, they could cause major problems. But as I say, look, my Britannia troops are still holding on against elite enemy Roman troops here. Okay, I've got some of Barclayman's Carthage Sacred Band in with my units there, but they're still holding well. Okay, but there's a general look. But also, I'd just like to draw your attention here. Can you see fire arrows here shooting into my chariots? Now remember, fire arrows don't just kill chariots, but they can give a fear factor with those fire arrows that can make chariots run amok. Okay, so that's why Lando was shooting fire arrows into my chariots there, trying to make them run amok. But of course, Britannia chariots don't run amok, they just die. But other chariot units from other factions, when they get fire arrows on them, they do run amok. Right, you can see my Carthage Sacred Band ally here charging those Sacred Band cavalry in there, and bang as he charges in there. But you can see that SBQR infantry coming in behind us here, and cavalry. Look at that cavalry charge coming in there. Bang! It smashes into our Brutii ally there. That is some massive cavalry hit there. Plus we've got that SBQR infantry coming in on us as well there. So as I say, this battle's right up in the air. And as I say, those enemy archers shooting those fire arrows into us all the time. Not just causing casualties, but morale loss as well. There goes our Carthage Sacred Band ally charging his cavalry in there, and bang as he charges in there. But look at all that SBQR infantry. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So my general with 22 men there, 18 men there, 26 men there, and 20 men there. That's all I've got left of my Britannia army, but still fighting those SBQR elite infantry along with my Carthage Sacred Band ally there. Still managing to hold on, and you can see Pompey here bringing in his infantry here to attack those SBQR troops there. But look at those Lando's archers there shooting into us all game, causing massive casualties. Wouldn't surprise me if Lando got some really high kills in this battle here with the amount of damage he's been doing with those archers all the way through the battle. There you can see here that as I say, we're managing to thin out those SBQR troops. You can see Barclayman bringing some of his Sacred Band spearmen in behind those SBQR troops. You can still see some enemy Scipii infantry and cavalry coming in behind us as well. As I say, my Britannia troops still holding there with the help of my Sacred Band ally there, my Carthage ally there. So as I say, these Britannia troops, Britannia is very often thought of maybe as a lesser 31k faction. Look at that Scipii cavalry charging there, bang, and he charges into my chosen swordsman again. As I say, Britannia often thought of as a lesser 31k faction, but if you play them carefully in coordination with your allies, Britannia can be a very powerful 31k faction. Okay, you can see this SBQR cavalry and infantry here. I think we've routed most of the other enemy armies here. You can see Lando charging that cavalry into the rear of that Carthage Sacred Band unit, and bang, as he smashes in there. I think the Carthage general saw that coming though and tried to turn his spearmen to face that threat before the cavalry impacted, if you see what I mean there. Okay, so you can see here, that's all of the enemy SBQR infantry left, and you can see us closing in on that infantry now. I'm not going to use my Britannia troops anymore. I think they're so battle damaged, there's a chance they could rout now. But let's just have a look and see how many of them have got left. Okay, I've got 12 men in that unit. 12 men in that unit. That's unusual, isn't it? 14 men in that unit. And 14 men in that unit. Whoa, that is surprising. 12, 12, 14, 14. And how many men in that unit? 11 men in that unit. So that's the entirety of my Britannia army that I've got left. That's how much of a battle of attrition this was here for my army. But you can see my Carthage Sacred Band allies and Brutii allies here closing in on the enemy SBQR troops that are left. Nice hit there by Barclay Man, charged in there with their secondary weapon, their swords there. If you notice him put the spears down, he's just charging in with their, as I say, their secondary weapon, the swords. And you can see a lot of those SBQR troops starting to rout there. Pompey's still got some of his cavalry left. See some of that SBQR cavalry charging in there, and bang as it charges in there. But I think that as you can see here, our team has managed to go on to win the battle here. But this is quite a spread out battle. If you remember over here on the left flank, where I used my Britannia army to help my Carthage ally here on the left flank, we managed to do quite well at taking out JGP's army, I think, quite quickly there. And then of course that old saying, speed is the essence there. We needed to get back over to the other flank to help our allies out, who were being quite aggressively attacked by all those enemy armies on that side. As you can see here, if you notice here, can you see a lot of red cloaked Spartans? They really stick out here on this grassy map. But you can see a heck of a lot of Spartans there dead in piles there, where I think they were attacked from the rear, the flank. If you spread your Spartans out too much, they kind of become a bit vulnerable to flank and rear attacks here. And look at the intensity of this part of the battlefield here as we just walk over all those dead, the piles of dead here. You can see just the sheer intensity of this particular part of the battlefield here. As I say, it was a real battle of attrition here, a grinding down battle, as you could see. But as I say, I think it's should be a close battle. What do you guys reckon? And maybe a close one. As I say, all our Greek city allies' army was completely taken out here during the course of the battle. So as I say, I think he had something like 17 Spartans. So you know how tough the Spartans are. So to lose all of the Greek city's army just goes to show how tough this battle was here. So say we just routed the last of the enemy troops. As I say, it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle here. Okay, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. It's nice to see so many good moves. And now it says average victory there. I would have put money on it being close, but it must have just edged up into the average victory there. So well done. Highest kills in the game, as we thought, with his archers there. A Brotherhood member Lando with 1,583 kills. Well done to him for the best kills. Second best kills goes to Brotherhood member Pompey, 1,520. So well done, you two. And surprisingly, the third highest kills goes to Britannia. Britannia got the third highest kills, 1,466. So I was pleased that very old army seemed to do quite well there. So well done to Brotherhood member Lando, as I say, highest kills in the game. Well done to him. Well done to Brotherhood member 8 Ball. Got some really good kills with his army as well. So well done to 8 Ball. Viriato, well done to Viriato. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but well done to him. And well done to Brotherhood member JGP. Unfortunately, he got caught there by Carthage and Britannia over on our left flank there, so he didn't get the kills that he wanted. But really well played, guys. It was a great battle there. And well done to that Britannia army that I was using maybe 13-14 years ago. Smallest army on the field by far, but managed to scrape in the 3rd highest kills. So I'm pleased with the Britannia army. Well done to Barclay man there. Great use of Carthage as usual. Well done to Crypto. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to do with these Greek cities there, but still did well in helping Pompey on that flank. And well done to Pompey with the 2nd highest kills in the game. So really well played to, as I say, to everybody in the game there. And what I liked about this game was the diversity. Look in our team, we have Britannia, Carthage, Greek cities, and Rome there. So that was our team up against 4 Romes there. So I think we did quite well there against 4 really good generals there with 4 really good armies. This is Spartan Commander saying I hope you enjoyed this battle, and did you answer the question at the beginning of the battle? Bye for now.